Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome into another edition of the Big Man on Campus Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus. We are getting at it going today on a Friday. What do we got? May 17th, 2019. Lot to talk about tonight. We'll get to MLB. We got NBA. We'll talk about it all tonight. Banger last night, 2-0 here on the show. Gave out a couple winners, gave you the Reds, and gave you the over in the Mariners and Twins game. Easy winners there. Had to deal with a rain delay in that Cup game, but Reds get the job done behind a sterling effort from Luis Castillo. Look, if you bet the Cubs last night, I think you might have to start doing something else. Come on. You guys should know. You can't bet the Cubs. That line just why were the Cubs getting the plus 130? They've been on fire. I'll tell you one reason why. Castillo's the truth, man. That guy is really, really good. He was terrific. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday. Ski Profit will join us tonight. He'll join us in a little bit. We'll catch up with Ski, see what he's up to. And talk a little NBA. We'll talk about the game tonight between Toronto and Milwaukee. We'll also maybe delve in a little bit to Golden State Portland. I don't know how much of a show or of a game that's going to be this weekend, just because I think that series is over. But we'll see. We'll get into that with Hinton a little bit later. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Say hello in the chat if you're out there. And if you're on Twitter, retweet the show as well. Before we get into anything, I wanted to bring up this Tyreke Evans news. Big news coming out of the NBA. Just kind of broke about 10 minutes ago. It seems to be that Tyreke Evans is going to be basically absolved from participating in the NBA over the next 2 seasons at least after he tested positive for drugs of abuse. Now, again, drugs of abuse would obviously be your harder drugs: methamphetamine, cocaine, LSD, opiates, heroin, codeine syrup, PCP. I've heard from multiple people that are in the know that Tyreke Evans has a lean problem. If you don't know what lean is, you should look it up. Again, that is allegedly. It's not a guarantee, but that's what I've heard. Tyreke Evans is from this area. He's from Chester, which is right outside of Philadelphia. This is not just he has a problem smoking weed. This is a big time thing. This is something that obviously Tyreke Evans needs help with. It's definitely sad to see. He had been playing well, actually. He's a guy that had a pretty good career in the NBA. And this is something where obviously he's going to need to get some help. For anyone that doesn't know, lean is basically codeine syrup. You mix it with several different other things, and you basically drink it. Provides you a very loopy feeling. I don't need to go into what lean is. Most people know what it is. It's definitely an issue in certain communities, and I have a feeling that's what Tyreke Evans' issue is. Again, I'm no doctor, nor do I know for sure, but that's what I've heard. This is obviously not good, whatever it is. We hope Tyreke Evans gets help because obviously it sucks to see that happen. But this isn't your run-of-the-mill, he got caught with a gram or something. This is like, he's doing some kind of hard drug. So we'll have to see how this all shakes out. But definitely a serious thing here with Tyreke Evans. Let's say hello to a couple people here. Anthony Greer, welcome in. Adam Cortega, Artez, who else do we have? Funny B, Melvin, Paco, Dennis, Chris Carter, Daniel Lee. We want Ski. Well, you're going to have to wait. He's coming. Settle down, Daniel Lee. He'll come on when him and I feel like he wants to come on. He'll be here. Just sit back and listen to the till the MLB talk. Last night we talked about that. Good night. Look, again, great game on the hardwood. I'm not going to pat my own back for giving out the over, even though I probably should have. I didn't love the game. And look, Golden State just is a better team than Portland. It's just that simple. Even without Kevin Durant, we've seen this team is actually very good without Kevin Durant. Listen, just give us Bucks, give us Warriors. That's what we all want. Give it to us, please. Inject it into us. That's what we need. Mike Butler, Eric Jones, Nick Goshkai. Nick Goshkai, what's up, Sheepback? Hope you're doing well. Follow me there, Shum. For listening. Appreciate that. Marshall Hoffman. For anyone who doesn't know, Nick Goshkai is Albanian, like myself. So whenever I see Nick Goshkai, I always want to say hello in our native tongue. But let's get into some MLB. I'm really excited about this card tonight. Definitely some interesting spots on this card for sure. I mean, you have a game kind of run out of the gate with the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. This was actually a series last week on the weekend as well. And actually I gave out the under in this game last week, and it ended up pushing 4-3. It was actually quite a lucky push. It was down in Tampa, which, if you know anything about Tampa, a lot of unders in that stadium over the years. It's just good for unders. You look at tonight, though, up in New York, you get temps in the 70s. No real wind to speak of, but you look at this total, 9.5. And you also look at the Yankees. They are a favorite here. I got to tell you, I think the wrong team's favored. Look, for as good as the Yankees have been, Tampa Bay has been an elite team this year. Just terrific all season. You look at really how they've done it. It's really been everything. I mean, they've been very good from the plate. They've been terrific in the rotation, and they've been very good in the bullpen. You look at this bullpen, just holding it down, 3.18 ERA on the season. You look at tonight going with Stanek. They're going with a guy that they're only going to get an inning or two out of, and then you're going to have your long men and you're going to have a bullpen game here. But it's worked for Kevin Cash. He's been able to kind of perfect this tool. You look at Tampa Bay, 14-5 on the road this year. They're hitting 263, and that's kind of something you got to be surprised by. This isn't a great lineup on paper. You don't have a ton of guys in here that you really. This isn't a team with kind of the old guard. The Carl Crawfords, the Evan Longorias, the Brad Miller. This is a long way away from those teams. These are young guys. A lot of kind of retreads. You look at this lineup tonight, though. From 4 to 9, it's not great. You got a lot of bad hitters in this lineup, including a guy like Travis d'Arnaud. You also look at the fact that Tampa Bay struggled mightily against left-handed pitching this year, only hitting 226. But then you look at the Yankees, they haven't been very good either lately. They're only hitting 220 over the last 7 games. You look at both pitching staffs, just terrific. This should be a lower scoring game. I'm surprised this total is 9.5. I really am. I would take the Rays. I think anytime you can get them under 110, I'm interested. I really like this team. I thought they kind of before the season they'd be a pretty decent baseball team. This Kevin Cash can manage. He's starting to show people that he can get the job done with all the injuries the Yankees have. I mean, really both teams kind of mired in injuries. You look at the Rays. However, you do get Yandy Diaz back tonight, which is big. He's been good for them. I'll take a shot with the Rays here to get the job done. I think they're around even money, so I'm going to grab Tampa here plus the 103. What else do we have here? Hit the like button. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. CC ain't losing. Well, I mean that might be true, but. CC Sabathia, he's had a great season. I'm not gonna knock CC. He's been very good. But again, I like the Rays at this price. I'll take them. CC's been good, not great. He's only going about 5 innings deep, so it'll be interesting. This will be a fascinating series to watch. Definitely a big series for the AL East. Another one I like, Angels and Royals. I've kind of been all over this Royals team lately. I bet against them one night. I bet on them the next. I went 1-1. I like the over in this game, 9.5. Keller against Harvey. You talk about a team that's just murdering the ball right now. It's the Angels. They're hitting 335 over the last 7 games. They're just knocking runs in left and right. And I think it's something you kind of build on. You look at this Keller. He has really struggled, Brad Keller, lately. You look at the last 3 games. 7 ERA. He has a whip close to 2. He's got a lot of walks this year, 32 walks in 52 innings. His whip is just high. It's just he has base runners. Control's been a problem for him. You look on the other side, I mean, not only has Keller been bad lately, but you look at Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey's been horrific. And he's been particularly horrific at home. You look at 3 home starts, he's got an ERA over 10. He's really had problems. A lot of home runs, a lot of walks. He's not striking anyone out. He's got little to nothing on his stuff. For a team coming in the Angels that's hitting right now, it doesn't really look good for Brad Keller here. You also look at Matt Harvey. Look, I know lately, over at least the last 2 games, the Royals have struggled with runners in scoring position. But you look at kind of really this season, they've actually been quite good. You look at the last 2 games, though, 22 guys left on base. That needs to pick up. I think it will tonight. We're getting a KC bullpen that's a little overworked, not good to begin with. Both these bullpens can give it up. So I'm going to look over 9.5 here. You could still get a pretty good number. This kind of reminds me of the game last night between the Seattle Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. 2 offenses that I think right now are just kind of on fire. So I'm going to look over the number in this one. Ski Prophet will join us in just a little bit. We'll catch up with him. We haven't talked to him in a while, and we'll talk a little NBA. What else? I looked at this Astros-Red Sox game. Obviously, the Astros are playing really well right now. Garrett Cole's been solid. Not great, but solid. Porcello, though, has got it figured out. And he's a guy that I think right now, he's almost a bet-on pitcher. He was terrific in his last outing. But it's hard to step in front of the Astros. They've won 8 straight games. Both these teams are hitting the ball fairly well. I guess I look at Purcell and I say to myself, is he fully back? Is he fully back into it? He did get about 4 runs last time out against Seattle. You look at the 2 starts where he did really well. I mean, nothing great with those lineups in Oakland and Chicago. This is a big-time lineup coming in here. So, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up for me here. I guess I lean Cole in the Astros, but it does look kind of square to me. Whole world kind of jumping on the Astros here. So nothing really in this one. I always try to look for like an underdog that I like. I was close with the Giants and Jeff Samardzija. I don't think Arizona should be this big a favorite, especially because Merrill Kelly's not been very good. The only thing that kind of keeps me off of San Francisco is it feels like any time they have the opportunity to kind of figure it out at the plate, they just crash and burn. And this offense is kind of hard to back. They're only hitting 223 as a club this year. You look at righties at 222. It's not good enough. But you look at the last 4 or so games between these two, they've been really low scoring, and that sets up to be a good spot for San Francisco. If I was going to take a big dog tonight, I would take San Francisco. But getting crazy about it, it's hard for me just because of, I don't know. I just look at the Giants and I'm just never really interested in them because they're so poor offensively. Thanks for watching, KD. KD saying nice suggestion on the over last night. Yeah, good one. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you watching. Baseball's streaky. I think the Astros keep winning. It's interesting. Every game that I've given out, you've been on the other side of. So I guess someone's going to win here. People treating this Boston over like it's a done deal. If you need a bad start from 2 upside starters, you need 2 of the best bullpens in the league to yield runs. It's not easy. I don't know. I wouldn't consider Boston one of the best bullpens in the league. I think you're kind of off there. But I do like Houston. Look, if I had to play this, I would take Houston. But I'm not really in the business of laying 140, so just not really in on it. Poker Addicted says the best bet on the board is the Colorado Rockies. Cole Irvin was very good in his first start, but you look at over the years, this Colorado team has done some really good things in Philadelphia. Charlie Blackmon has great numbers in Philly. Great numbers. But John Gray's just really been, to me, kind of a guy that he just never really is matriculated into much. You thought he'd be kind of a guy that you could kind of go to, and he could be one of their top flight starters, him and Kyle Freeland. But John Gray, for whatever reason, just really hasn't ever figured it out. You look at his last 2 road starts, 11 innings. He's given up 10 earned runs. I'll tell you what, if you like the Rockies tonight, I'd just take the over in this game. Because if you think that they're going to hit Cole Irvin, you got to figure John Gray gives up some runs here. That would be kind of my angle here. I mean, it is nice around here. Temps are in the 70s. It's pretty clear. The ball's going to, this is not a big baseball park here. I think if you like the Rockies, you might just well take the game over the number. That's just me. Numbers come down to 9. So it was at 9.5, 1 point back down to 9. So you're getting the best number here. Maybe a thought here. Rockies have never seen Irvin. Really, no one has seen Irvin. But there is a little tape on him now. He has thrown. And this might be a good spot to maybe kind of go against that. And I feel like if you think they're going to hit Irvin, you got to think the Phillies are going to hit John Gray. John Gray's not been good. John Gray's, as I said, never really been that great a pitcher. And he's been particularly poor lately on the road. McCutchen, 17 at-bats, a 471 average off John Gray. Couple Phillies struggle, though. Maikel Franco, Cesar Hernandez, Odubel, Rhys Hoskins. A lot of guys struggle against Gray. So maybe you're onto something here. I don't know. I wouldn't say, though, he's a guy that I'm running to grab. But, hey, if you have a feeling on it, run with it. All right, what else do we have here? A lot of people on here. Thanks for joining the show today. Listen, anytime we can get more than 5 people to watch a baseball broadcast, I'm ecstatic about it. Marshall Hoffman, Sharks in the over tonight. All right, well, you don't expect the Blues to bounce back. I get a feeling they do, so I'm going to go against you on that one. Everything is good. Yep, all is well with me, man. Everything is very good. Louis Lanza, what's happening? What do I think about the Cubs against the Nationals? I'm not looking to ever bet against Max Scherzer. I think tonight the Cubs will lose. They've been on fire for a while. Look, they're going to lose eventually. Who better to lose to than Max Scherzer? What's good seating at the Phillies Park? I think anywhere's good. I mean, that stadium's good really anywhere. Is John Gray the guy that came back from testicle cancer? No, that was Chad Bettis. That was him. There you go. Poker addicted. Just likes the over. All right. That's kind of my thoughts on the MLB tonight. I like the Rays, and I like that over in the Angels and Royals. So that's kind of where I'm looking here. If you have any other plays, maybe we'll get to 1 or 2 more here before Ski Profit joins us. Ski Profit doing some good things in the NBA, so we'll obviously hear what he has to say. Obviously the Dodgers, I mean, it seems like they always win, doesn't it? I mean, it's hard to not take the Dodgers, like kind of on principle right now. That's kind of a thought there. I will consider maybe jumping on this Giants game. If it gets up to like 155-ish, I might bounce on it. I don't think Merrill Kelly's that good. I don't think he's that big a price. Joey Lucchesi getting a lot of love as well. I mean, off one good start. I mean, Joey Lucchesi for most parts of the season has been pretty poor. You have 2 pretty good big dogs late night, Giants and Pirates. I think if you take both of them, you'll make money. Whether you go 1-1, that's fine. You make half a unit probably. I think if you took the Giants and Pirates both for unit, I think you'll win at least one of them. So that's a thought. Nothing on Tigers, Oakland, Cleveland, Baltimore. Baltimore is just terrific. Twins, Mariners. I mean, the Mariners are a favorite, guys. I mean, this team's been just dreadful, haven't they? I mean, for Christ's sakes, with Seattle. I mean, it's been a complete mess. They've lost 10 of 13. Since that 14-2 start, they're getting destroyed. Not been good for Seattle. I mean, how do you bet Seattle right now? I don't really see the benefit in doing that. But I'm also not seeing much benefit in betting Martin Perez. However, though, with Martin Perez, he's actually been very good. I mean, you look at his starts this year. It's been a good year for Martin Perez. So I don't know. I'm not getting enough back for that one. Fade Lucchese. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I think if you take the Pirates and the Giants, I think you'll make money. The first few years I played baseball, I lost a lot. Big man has instilled the fact to slow down a bit. Yeah, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. Thank you for watching, Mike Butler. Very nice of you. Any thoughts on Man City Watford tomorrow? Yeah, I'll get into that at the end. Stick around. Ski Prophet is the truth. Excited to hear what he likes. Yeah, Ski Prophet's doing some great things. Good for him. Happy to see it. Look, I hate most people in this business. Well, actually, pretty much all of them. But Ski Prophet's a good guy. I've kind of chatted with him for a long time. I actually remember Ski Prophet the first time he ever started coming around, like on SBR and stuff. I remember he used to come into our right side of campus chats, and he used to troll Donnie and I. Like, he used to troll us on like the Lakers. And then I ended up meeting him at IFBC, and he was very kind. He came up to me. He was very nice. Him and the girl he was with, they came up and said hello. And I always remember this about Ski Prophet. Him and the girl were wearing matching Laker jerseys. He had Lonzo Ball, and she had, I want to say, LeBron James, possibly. It was actually quite cool. You know, you don't see couples doing that much. So he came up to me. He was very nice. So from then on, I kind of liked him, and we talk occasionally. I try to give him pointers and, you know, that kind of thing. But he's a smart kid. He really is. He, as I said yesterday, he's always very good with, you know, one of the big, and we're waiting for him to join. One of the big regrets I have in the business that I'm in is the occasional I'm too mean to people. You know, if I could do it all over, I would kind of maybe change my tune a bit with how I treated certain people in the past. But, you know, I am who I am. You know, I guess I'm nice to people that are nice to me. And he's always been very nice to me. So I'm happy to know him. So he should be joining us any minute here. And I'm excited to see him. What do we need here? What do we got? Oh, there he is. Ski Prophet joins us. Ski, how you doing?
My bad. I was muted. What's going on, big man?
Ski,
it's nice to be on here talking with you again.
What's up, pal? How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you as well.
I was just talking about IFBC when do you remember how you and I met? You used to come in the right side of campus chat and troll Donnie and I about the Lakers.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that? You remember that? And then I met you in IFBC and you were like super nice, and I'm like, wait, is this the same guy?
I mean, I just got to give you a hard time. You know, you guys, it's just the hometown thing, but it's all in good and love and everything.
That's one thing that's key. I always kind of envy with you. I've talked before. I mean, I don't love everything I've done in the past on Twitter. There are things that I've done that I regret. I always respect that you are always pretty even keeled with stuff, and you're doing good. And I want to say that I applaud your success.
Well, thank you, big man. I definitely appreciate that. My bad. I got to get it together with this mute button. But yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And, you know, you gave me some sound advice at first in the beginning of the season. I think I was betting too many games at a time. And you kind of told me to slow it down. And you pointed out some other things to me as far as how you bet. And I put that into what I'm doing as far as like part of my process. And that definitely helped me out quite a bit. So I appreciate that, big man.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, man. And before we get into the games, I want to just kind of just ask about. I want to just talk about this Tyreke Evans thing. Before I do that, I want to address a comment here. Big man, you could have treated Jeff Feinberg better. Well, actually, Ganja King, if you knew the story, you would know that I actually liked Jeff Feinberg for a long time, and I had every reason to love his golf input, actually. And I've talked about that many times. But one night during football season, I said something about Phillip Rivers, and Jeff Feinberg took it personally and started calling me, fat slob, and I do cocaine and all this stupid stuff, and started a fight with me. So maybe you should know the story before you comment on Jeff Feinberg. I wish Jeff Feinberg the best. He started with me though that night. I didn't start with him. But let's move on here. Ski. I talked about Tyreke Evans quickly. Definitely a shame to see. Obviously, Tyreke Evans has had a bit of a renaissance in his career. Had a pretty good season this year. Has had a pretty good career. 9 years in the NBA, 16 points a game. I actually remember when I was a kid, when I was young, I was probably maybe 17 or 18. I saw Tyreke Evans in high school. He played at this Kobe Bryant Classic, it was called, in the suburbs of Philadelphia. It was a big tournament where all the great high school players came. And I remember watching him. And at the time, coming into college, Tyreke Evans was one of the best recruits in the country. This is definitely sad to see. Obviously, Tyreke Evans has a drug problem and a serious drug problem. Definitely sad. We don't see this often. But you look at some of the past, the Len Biases of the world and, things like that. This is definitely sad to see.
Most definitely sad to see. And you definitely hate seeing things like this. It reminds me of Josh Gordon and just things of that nature. You never really want to see things like this. And one of my friends, actually, Bryce, his favorite player, rest in peace to Bryce, his favorite player was Tyreke Evans. And he was a big fan of him. Like he would play with him every year on 2K. So when I think of Tyreke Evans, it makes me think of my friend Bryce.
Yeah, that's always a good thought. That's an interesting guy that he liked. I do know Tyreke Evans was terrific back, in college when he was at Memphis and even in high school. I remember the day I saw him play in high school. I remember it was like seeing it was like seeing Kobe Bryant or like LeBron James. He was that good when he was at the prep school he was at. It was quite the sight to see. But hopefully he gets help here. Definitely you definitely hate to see that. He'll be eligible to come back in 2 years. You got to realize Tyreke Evans, 29 years old. It's hard to ever recover from stuff like this. Hopefully he does. Good point by Josh Gordon about Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon's never really been the same. He's always kind of battled with addiction. So this is a problem, people, and it doesn't just hit, just random people. It hits celebrities and athletes alike. So hopefully he gets help here. But Ski, let's get into the guts of the show here. Let's get into the game tonight. First of all, last night, are you surprised that how Portland I'm kind of seeing it, and I'm sure you're seeing this as well. I think we're all just kind of realizing at this point that while Toronto and Portland have had great seasons, they're nowhere near their competitors. Golden State had really no business winning that game last night. And look, neither did Milwaukee the other night, but we're almost destined for Milwaukee, Golden State, aren't we? These two teams are second best.
Yeah, those are my picks, Golden State to play Milwaukee. And I can't say I'm surprised that Golden State came back and won because I've seen it so many times. But before, when I broke that game down before the game, I said that my numbers were telling me Golden State, but my gut was telling me Portland. And Portland was pretty damn close to winning. They did cover the spread, but I'm not really surprised that Golden State comes back to win. I will say Portland is more outmatched in their series than Toronto. I think Toronto is closer.
That was kind of something that I kind of pointed out. I didn't think the Golden State series would go long. In fact, I thought Portland might win a game. I wouldn't be surprised if they get swept, to be really honest with you. I just don't think they're good enough to. You look at how hard it is to beat Golden State, and you look at the upper echelon of the NBA, with the exception of like Houston and maybe one or two others. It's so hard to beat Golden State. You look at all Portland throughout last night, and they still couldn't win. It's just it's hard to kind of accept. I feel like if you're a team like Portland, but look, you got to give some kudos to like a guy like Andre Iguodala. That's how you fucking defend. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, that was an elite defensive performance by him in that last sequence. But you look at this game here, Milwaukee 6.5. You got a total in this game at around 217 and a half. Really depends where you look. You look at Ski, kind of some particulars from game one. The Bucks find a way to get the job done. They were down double digits in the second half. Only just one player with a field goal for Toronto in the fourth quarter. For large parts of these playoffs, just too many guys have took nights off for Toronto. And look, do you front on Kawhi? No, because Kawhi's been so good. He's played so many minutes. But you look at the Bucks. I mean, still win the game. They only shoot 25% from three. You have to figure that's going to write itself out. You have to figure Kyle Lowry's not going to score 30 points again. And again, like I said in the Philadelphia series, and I was partly right, Milwaukee just has more supporting cast. They have a better team. They're better overall. While Toronto did a decent job on Giannis, we've seen that other people can find ways to score for Milwaukee. I think the Bucks come out with a bit more pizzazz tonight. And I don't hate grabbing them in the first half here. I think they come out much better in this game. Gun to my head, I think first half full game of the plays. I was on Toronto in the first game, and I think they're better in this series than Portland will be. And I think when they go back to Canada, it'll be a different story. But what do you like here, Ski? I mean, this is a tough series because for as bad as Milwaukee was, they still won.
Yeah. Before I go on, I want to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Toronto, do you think in game one, do you think that them coming off that game 7 series, that fatigue played a factor in them letting up and letting them come back?
Definitely a pretty good point, actually. That's actually a real good point. I kind of feel like in like large parts of the final 2 or 3 games against the Sixers, I just felt that they not overachieved, but I thought players played a lot better than they normally do. Like Fred VanVleet was playing well, and Marc Gasol was playing well. I just don't think that's sustainable for them. And I just felt like the Sixers unfortunately couldn't find a way, like last year, to finish. Yeah, and that's a good point, though. I mean, the fourth quarter was pathetic. I mean, 70 points in 12 minutes is just disgraceful, really. I think that's a really good point to look at, and I think it's just kind of realizing that outside of Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam, this team just isn't that good. I mean, they have good players. They don't have anything that I think can kind of warrant what Milwaukee has. Yeah,
and one thing I will say that I definitely agree with you on is Lowry. I mean, he played the game of his life. He's definitely not going to repeat a performance like that. And Kawhi, he had 31 points, but he had a plus minus of -4. So they were better with him off of the court. And like you said, they need Siakam to step up. Milwaukee, everybody except for Brook Lopez played a bad game, and they still won and covered. Like, they shot terrible. They shot 25% from the three-point in game one. And it's a stat here. In the playoffs, teams that won, despite shooting 25% or less, they're 36 and 24 and 2. That's 60% against the spread when they're favored the next game. So that right there favors the Bucks. A couple other stats. Bucks are 16 and 7 when the spread is -8 to -5. They're 27, 16 and 2 as a home favorite. They're 21, 12 and 1 versus 55% when teams are greater, and they're 9 and 1 against the spread their last 10. So they're hot. I mean, they had the one hiccup versus Boston, but since then, I mean, it's been just rolling team after team, game after game. And this game in particular, if you like the Bucks, I'm not too sure that I like them early. We saw Portland come out yesterday and give Golden State all they can handle for the first quarter and first half and give it up in the full game. And Milwaukee has not been good lately, the first quarters and first halves. I know first quarter specifically, they're 0-6-1 last 7 against the spread. First halves is pretty damn close to that. So think about that. They're 0-6-1 last 7 first quarters, probably pretty close in the first half, and they're 9 and 1 against the spread on the full game. So I definitely would like Milwaukee over the course of the game if I like Milwaukee. And on the Raptors, I think we would have to see a sense of urgency. And if you like the Raptors, you have to like them early. I would look to, if you like the Raptors, back them on the first quarter and bank on them to give a sense of urgency, and also fade Milwaukee's slow starts. I said that 0-6-1 on first quarters.
Good
We should
stuff.
see a great start from Toronto. And I'm still deciding on the total. You have any feel on the total?
Yeah, I was just going to get to that actually, and as you said, 9-1 this series, this playoff season for Milwaukee, 9-1 against the number, and again, most profitable team in the league this year. I'll say this: you look at the first game, went to 208, and it went to 208 with 25% shooting from Milwaukee. Look, Milwaukee's going to shoot threes. That's what they do. They shot 44 in game one. Toronto scored 17 points. You have to figure that's not going to happen again. You look at over the in the second half, they scored 41 points combined. I mean, just horrific for a total, and it still got to 208. It's not like this was 95-92. I think the game goes over. That's something that I kind of like here. I think a lot of this stuff will correct itself. I think we have to also talk about how just elite, and they are elite because they're probably the second best team in the league, if not the best from an overall perspective. I mean, you look at the bench for Milwaukee. I mean, every player they have that plays minutes is got its own purpose. Ersan Ilyasova, kind of that garbage guy, kind of does the little things, defends well. George Hill, terrific point guard that can provide a lot of depth at that position. Brogdon, that young player that can give you 10 to 15 points a game. And then Pat Connaughton, who, look, I know didn't score the other night, but I think he showed in the past that he can come in and knock down threes. This team is top to bottom really good. I like the over in this game. I think 217 is a good number. I think a lot of the stuff will correct itself. I think you made some great points with your halves and quarters bets. I just kind of, in my thoughts with this game, I just think Milwaukee, I'm kind of starting to think that they're just a way better team. If Toronto's going to compete, I feel like it'll be in Toronto. I don't know that it's going to be in Milwaukee. That's a great crowd there too. So my official play, I'll go over the number, over 217. I think we see kind of like a 110 or I don't know, 115, 110 or something like that. I think this game gets into the 220s.
115, 110. That's not a cover for the Bucks.
True. I guess I'm just coming up with scores. Let me just say this. I think it gets into the 220s, something like that. 122, 123, or 113. I don't know. I'm all over the place with these scores. It'll get into the 220. Put it that way.
Got you. And I want to comment on one of these from Teddy B. They're the best defense
Teddy B's
team.
not liked on this show, but we'll let you comment. Maybe we can fix. Maybe you could be the mediator for him because he can. Sometimes he only comes in here when he wins. We like to see him all the time, yet he only comes in when he wins, and he likes to troll people. Maybe Teddy B can be the force of peace. You could be the force of peace here.
But we'll see. I definitely will do my best. I know you guys are both my friends, so I'll do my best. He says they're the best defensive teams left in the playoffs on the road. That has to count for an under here, don't you believe? And yeah, it's two great defensive teams. Honestly, I did bet that first game under. I looked at this game. I wanted to bet it under. At the same time, it was kind of tough to. I was on my. I didn't know that last game was going to go through. The last 3 minutes, the Raptors didn't score. They were playing fast. They were just missing shots. Milwaukee's fifth in pace. Toronto, how I feel they play fast with teams that like to play fast, or they play slow with teams that like to play slow. So I saw teams that were running. They were missing shots. I don't expect that many shots to be missed this game. So I probably would lean more towards the over now. But I will say my stronger play on the game would have to be, I like them both, and then they go against each other. But I like the Raptors first quarter, and I like the Bucks full game. Bucks don't win, or they don't play majority close games. They win like blowout type games. So I don't think the spread is really a problem if you like the Bucks to win.
Yeah, I think you're kind of onto something with some of this quarter stuff for sure. Kind of maybe, just kind of running with it. I mean, you've done a great job with NBA, so I think just kind of going with your gut is just a smart thing to do, as you know. We'll get to just a quick thought on tomorrow's game. Quick question here, big man. Why are you on the same time as Jimmy the Bag? Are you competing with him? No, I don't compete with anybody. I've had this show at 5:00 for. mean, as long as I remember. I mean, since I started the shows at 5 o'clock. Other people have moved their show. I wish them the best. Whoever, I know Ski does the shows, all the guys. I wish all of them the best. I am on at 5 always, and I've always been on at 5. So I'm not on competing with anyone. Wham is in here. Trot Wham, met him out in Vegas. Great guy as well. I hope he's doing well. What else do we have? Cody AV, my man, checking in. Stack Guap, welcome in. Bucks will cover, says Razor's Edge. Hey, Ski, tomorrow, Golden State and the Portland Trailblazers, Game 3 up in Portland. I like the scheduling here. I like the 2 days off. Let's stay with that, guys. We need games on Saturdays. There wasn't any games on Saturday last week, and it was lame. Golden State and Portland 2.5, total 221.5. I don't know how much you've looked at this. Obviously, you know Kevin Durant. But Ski, I mean, look, if you're going to throw me Golden State as an underdog, I'm interested. I don't really need much more there. I don't know how. I don't think Portland has the ability to beat Golden State. I just don't.
I hear you. And anytime you see Golden State as an underdog, you want to hop on it right away versus whoever they're playing. I didn't say that I think Golden State sweeps Portland in the series. And I thought that Portland, if they were going to take a game, it would be game 2 or game 3. That's why I didn't back them last game, but I didn't bet Golden State either. And I feel like with them laying the line, plus 2.5 Golden State, they're begging you to take Golden State.
Yeah.
So I'm going to probably.
And for me, that's kind of the way that I don't like to handicap. And I will say this, and I think this is important real quick before we get your final thought. Golden State as an underdog this year, 5-5 against the spread. Over the last 3 years, 9-12 ATS as an underdog. And in those 10 games this year as a dog, they're 4-6 straight up. So, it is a valuable point. I guess you just wonder, with it being the playoffs, does Golden State just seemingly defy logic? You also look at Golden State this year. This is a fascinating stat. Off a close win by 3 points or less in the next game, 0-4 against the spread this year, and 2-6 over the last 3 years in that trend. So, they're not good in the next game generally off these really close wins. So, yeah, you might have something there with Golden State or Portland, whoever you choose.
Well, I haven't capped the game to its entirety, but Portland is great at home, much better than on the road. Portland plays to overs at home. Warriors play to overs on the road. Right now, initial leans would have to be Portland and over. So take it for what you want. My initial thought process on the series was under, over, and then go from there. But the game last night snuck over, or not last night, but the last game snuck over. So we'll see. Most likely my play is going to be the over, and I'll react to how everybody bets the spread.
Sure. Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see where this line goes. That'll be an interesting thing to look at tomorrow. Ski, other than that, what else do you got? Anything else tonight you're looking at?
No, that's it for me. I didn't really have too much time to look at anything else in the MLB world. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I got to just decide out of these picks. I know 9 times out of 10, Toronto first quarter +2 is going to be one of my picks. We'll see if I have a second one.
Very good, very good. Quickly, do I like the over in the San Jose game tonight? No, I don't have any opinion on the total. I don't really have much on. I don't really have much in that game tonight. I think the Blues will tie it up, though. Got to wonder where they are, though, after that controversy the other night. Also, breaking news: Lakers reportedly will not hire a new president of basketball operations. Any thoughts on that, Ski? You're a Laker fan.
Trying to get me riled up here, big man. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll see. We got the 4th pick, so I'm not too mad right now. I gotta be at least some kind of hopeful or happy.
Interesting. You're happy about that? Like obviously the 4th pick is cool and all, but you could have got the 1st pick.
Well, shit, we could have got the 10th pick. I didn't think we were gonna get the top anything. So
sure, you're just
I didn't think,
I guess, right?
Right. Because we need something to trade, or we need somebody to come. We can't stay how we were.
Here's one thing before I let you go. I want to make a comment on kind of a random thing, but one thing about me that many people may not know is I have a just an ungodly obsession with older women, which is odd because the girl I'm with now is younger than me, but I love like an older woman. And I got to tell you, this might be random, but you know the broad that I would like put in like a top 10 chicks to get with? Jeannie Buss, definitely. Jeannie Buss
Really?
is fire. Yeah. She's banging, dude. And she's worth $500 million. Bro, Jeannie Buss is a fox, man. Fuck,
Hey, you know
man.
what? I think it's just the personal opinion. I
Sure.
think her and Palinka mess around, but that's just not what I'm my
No, hey,
personal.
listen.
I don't know.
I mean, she's messed around with Phil Jackson, so I don't think that's that hard to believe, to be honest. Palenka kind of similar in age, I think, and he's not like a terrible looking guy. That wouldn't surprise me. But Jeannie Buss got it going on. She's definitely one of the hotter like operations people in sports, 100%. But all right, Ski, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, and hope everything's figured out for you. I will say, Ski, as far as your pick at 4, I would definitely be going DeAndre Hunter there if I were them. DeAndre Hunter is terrific from a defensive standpoint. Good 3-4 kind of player. You have to figure maybe Kuzma moves on. They maybe get rid of him and bring someone else in. I like Hunter at 4, Ski.
Yeah, I have to look at more tapes, but let me ask you really quick. Do you have any opinion on the other people I'm hearing are Culver and Fairbanks, I think, or something like that?
Well, there's no Fairbanks in the draft.
Okay, Culver.
Culver, yeah, I love Jared Culver. I think he's just a high IQ player. I think he goes to the Cavs at 5. I think 4. I just feel like the Lakers will take Hunter, but no, I like Culver. I didn't think he had a great tournament, but defensively he's really good. He's a guy that I think loves to play defense, which is hard to find. Any kid you get from Virginia, Texas Tech, I don't think it's a bad choice to take either of them, Culver or Hunter. They're similar players from a defensive standpoint. From an offensive standpoint, they're actually similar as well. They're both from the same system, really. Yeah, I think Culver or Harvey or Hunter would be perfect. And that would be where I would go if I were them. I think
Uh,
Culver just kind of fits with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think with John Beeline there now, I think that just makes a ton of sense. So that's where I would go. Hey, quick, Ski, before we go, someone's asking about any thoughts on Deontay Wilder's comments. Yeah, I thought they were despicable, frankly. Listen, I get it's a violent sport and sometimes things happen, but I do think it was a bit negligent to talk that way. I get he's trying to scare people and everything, but I just thought it was a bit poor taste. Any thoughts, Ski, on that?
no, I don't even know what he said at all.
He basically said that his goal is to he wants to kill somebody in the ring. That's kind of what he said in layman's terms.
Um, I don't know if I'm gonna take it so. How do I say? I don't know if I want to read too much into it. Like just in general, like if you hear somebody say that, like you hear people say that about basketball. I want to kill this team. I want to kill that team.
Well, he
So I don't know.
basically said he basically says he said his exact words were he wants a body on his record, basically pointing out that he gets paid and he can kill someone, and it's just legally there wouldn't be any problem, and that if he dies, he dies. That kind of thing.
Oh no, I don't support that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think you're taking it a little too far when you're doing that. I
like I
mean,
get what you mean. If he says like, "Yeah, I want to kill everybody I face," it's like, okay, well, you don't take it literally, but it's like when he comes out and says, "I want a body on my record." I mean, no, you don't. I mean, you really don't. I mean, once you kill a man, look, I've never killed a man, but I'd imagine it sticks with you forever. I mean, there are people, serial killers and stuff, that even the most evil people. I mean, there's some sort of partner. And look, whether you're a serial killer or you're just someone that does it by accident or something, there's still some kind of compassion in you where you think about it. I think this was very, very much in poor taste. And if I was Dominic Brazil, the guy he's fighting next, I would be quite concerned, actually. But yeah, I thought it was in poor taste. But all right, Ski, we will let you go. I know you probably got a lot going on. You can follow Ski on Twitter at Ski Profit, SKEE Profit. And Ski, I do find it interesting as well. You took my advice to put your name on your Twitter. Remember I told you to do that?
Yeah, nobody even believed that Profit's my last name.
And that is Ski Profit's actual last name, Profit, which is quite interesting. I've never heard anything like that. I couldn't believe it when I first heard about it either. But all right, Ski, we'll let you go, man. Hope to see you again real soon. Have a good night, man.
All right, big man. It was great breaking it down with you guys, and thank you everybody for tuning in and all the love. Later.
Yep. Cheers, man. Take it easy. Ski Profit joining us live from the left coast. Ski mentioning some really good things on the first quarter, maybe a full game play on the Bucks, first quarter play on the Raptors, and possibly a play on Portland tomorrow night. But all right, guys, we will wrap up the show. For me, I'm going to go 3 plays tonight here for free on the show. I'm going to go with the Rays at basically even money. I'm going to go Angels, Royals over 9.5. And I'm going to go with the Bucks, and I'm going to go with the Raptors over 217. Left coast is the best coast. That is blasphemy. But hey. Whatever floats your boat. Listen, you would have to pay me a large amount of money to live on the left coast. Like, I thought about that the other day because I was watching this thing that Barstool puts out. It's Ask the Internet, and you have comedians on, and they basically ask them, like, really random questions. And one of the questions was, if you were given $100 million, would you stay in Ohio for the rest of your life? You can never leave the state limit of Ohio. You have to stay in the state lines. And the chick that they had on said no, she wouldn't do it. You would have to pay me. I'm trying to think of what my number would be to live on the West Coast. Like, where they're like, I mandated to live there at least like 10 months out of the year. How much would I need? Probably like at least 20 million. Like, I mean that. I love the East Coast more than anything. And not just the East Coast. I love, like, the where I live, like the Philly area. I wouldn't live, like, anywhere else. So, yeah, I can't say I agree on the left coast being the best coast, but I guess whatever you say. Yeah, someone asked about the I forget the chat guy that asked about it. Someone asked about the FA Cup final tomorrow between Manchester City and Watford Football Club. I'm never a big fan of betting FA Cup matches. Obviously, both teams are looking to grab a trophy here. Look, I think City will get the job done here. I've not been a big Watford guy all year. But, I think both teams are scoring over 2.5 is a good play. Watford has been a pretty damn good offensive group. They scored, I think, in 10 of their last 12 matches. They have guys who can score, Troy Deeney and guys like that. Yeah, I think this is like a 3-1 type of match, something like that. So that would be where I would go with it. But I'm not a big fan of FA Cup or like Community Shield trophies or anything like that. I wanted to check here. There was a game today in England, Charlton against Doncaster in League One. I was going to play Charlton. I didn't end up playing it, but I'm glad I didn't because Doncaster actually ended up getting the job done. But Charlton actually moved on from penalties. So great game tonight in League One. Good game. So Charlton will move on. Good stuff. All right, guys, that'll wrap up the show for tonight. Thanks for checking out the show. I appreciate it. As always, hit the like button and support me. Might be on Periscope a little bit later. Any fun things to do in Philadelphia? I mean, I guess what I think is fun and what most people think is fun is a different thing. Like, fun for a lot of people in Philly is just like stand on the corner and like talk, or like sit on your stoop and talk, or whatever. So I can't say I really have a comment on that. I guess for like for tourists, go to a Phillies game or go to Sugar House, or I don't know, go to the shore or something. I don't know. But when I'm in Philly, we just kind of stand out on the corner and just talk. Really, get water ice, just chill. Go to like a social club and just chill out. I don't know. That's what we do. So when I'm down there, like tonight, if I was in South Philly, I would literally be sitting on my step all day, all night, just sitting on my step. My friends would come by, we chill, chat, talk, whatever. Like I'm not even kidding. Last time I was in South Philly, when I went to the last Sixers game, I was like, I got done with it. I literally called my boy. I met him on a corner that we chill on, and we literally just stood there and talked for like an hour. That's what we do. So that's the God's honest truth. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you all later. And yeah, that's that. Everyone have a good night. Bye bye.